up, surfers? This is Rttta, and I am Garrett Williamson, your research guide. This show, Random Things to Talk About, is when I talk about things that interest me, old or new. So today is March 23rd, 2013, and today I decided I was going to talk about something that actually happened 23 years ago, but the reason I'm talking about it now is because on Monday, that marked 23 years ago that this happened. And it's been all over the news that they have new information and they may know who did it, who done it, I think it was 2 people actually. And it was this huge art theft. And this happened back in 1990, obviously, if you've done your math, and 23 years later would be 2013. And this is considerably the biggest art theft that has ever happened in history. And it occurred 23 years ago in March of 1990 at the Isabel Stewart Gardner Museum, which is down in Boston. I will just go ahead and, give sort of a quick story about it. This is still considered practically the biggest art theft that has ever happened because people still are yet to be able to catch the guys that stole the artwork. So, on March 18th, 1990, right after St. Patrick's Day, 2 guys dressed as police officers early in the morning, like 1-ish, 1 a.m. So the 2 men, disguised as police officers, walked up to the side entrance and pushed the buzzer and were like, "Hey you, police guards. Hey, listen. Hey, there's some disturbance in the courtyard. We need to get in there." So they were allowed into the building without question. Just the security guards were like, "Oh, alright, okay, just come on in." Yeah. So there were actually only a couple of security guards working at the place, which is sort of pathetic. A 4-story building, and there were only 2 covering the whole thing. Not the smartest idea, I'd like to say. So then the 2 police officer disguised dude theft guys walked up to the main desk. They said to one of the security dudes, "Hey, you look familiar. I think we have a default warrant out for you." And no joke, this security guard actually walked out from behind his desk. He was like, "Oh yeah, alright, I'm coming, okay." And guess what was behind that desk that he probably needed? The alarm button. But of course, he just walks right out of the desk. So then pretty much they arrested the security guard. They pretty much put handcuffs on him and said he was arrested for being in trouble. And then they wrapped duct tape around both of the security guards because they ended up getting both of them, obviously. And then after that, they went up to the Dutch room, and as one of them actually were approaching a painting, an alarm sounded, and they smashed it. They literally just were like, "Oh, geez, that's making a lot of noise. Maybe we should..." We're good. So then they ended up stealing 13 different very, very famous or special pictures. They pretty much stole $580 million worth of artwork in there, which is ridiculous. Now, everybody is guessing, this might not even be a guess, this might not even be a theory, I bet you this is true, but they were probably going to steal them and then wait for all of this to die down so that they could sell them later, but it never died down because, number 1, they were never caught, number 2, this is $580 million worth of stuff that they just stole. If anybody can find out information and tell the police where it all may be, they can get $5 million worth of off of this. You'd be a huge millionaire from finding what's going on here. Unfortunately, when the guys took the art, they were very amateur art theft people, as some said over the news, I think, because they pretty much, they didn't take them off the wall correctly, I believe. I don't know a ridiculous amount of information there, but all I know is that that was like they sort of actually slightly harmed the paintings because they didn't steal them correctly, so they probably lost a little bit of their value, but they are nevertheless historic, crazy, ridiculously valuable things that were stolen, of course. I mean, in lots of this stuff, when I'm saying historic, I'm not just saying within the past 150 years. I mean, some of this stuff was even from BC. I mean, this is old. They got some stuff that was when we were counting backwards, okay, in years. So, part of the reason I'm talking about this is not just because it's the anniversary of the robbery, but because the FBI has some new clues, finally, after 23 years. The FBI actually said they probably do know, they believe, that's what they believe, that they know the identity of these thieves. Whoa. They actually believe that the theft was carried out by a criminal organization down, based in the Mid-Atlantic and New England, and that the stolen paintings were moved by a criminal organization through Connecticut and Philadelphia and all of this. Actually, FBI believes that some of the art might have been sold in the early 2000s, but that was already 10 years or more after the theft had happened. So this goes to show how long they waited to finally sell the stuff they stole. So yeah, there's that, and then there was one other thing I wanted to speak of because, hey, video games, I mean, what is Rttta without some video games? So what's the other thing? Slender. This is my scary face. Yeah. So, you probably remember a few months back I did talk about the new commercial releasing game Slender the Arrival, which, you know, where Slender the 8 Pages was just a big deal, a free game that became publicly a huge deal and was considered by the guy that made it more of just a beta test, and just he put it online to see what everybody else thought about it. Clearly it became a huge deal. I am starting to think that Slender is getting really ridiculously old. There's a lot of other stuff that I would actually want to see now because Slender's getting so old it's not scaring me like it used to, and it's just no longer fun if it's not giving me nightmares for 2 weeks straight. The new game is Slender the Arrival, like I said, commercially being released, you know, going to be sold for, I don't know how many, 20 bucks, something like that, I don't know. And you know, they're actually planning later in time, they have been saying they might do different Slender games actually for like the Xbox or the PlayStation or anything like that, which would actually be pretty crazy. You know, it's crazy how big you can become just from simply doing something and putting it up on the internet. So the game is scheduled to be released March 26th, 2013. They said early 2013, and I guess it still counts. I'd say anywhere between January and April would be like early 2013, I guess. I was actually expecting it sooner, but you know, I don't actually know anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read a little bit of gameplay, but I'm not gonna be very long because this episode is probably already really long. So gameplay, you will be playing as a female character, just like the original, where you were playing as a little girl, even though I didn't even know you were playing as a little girl in the original one. I thought I was just playing as myself, and it just decided automatically whether it was a male or a female, depending on who played the game, but apparently it's a little girl. Flashlight will be able to run out, leaving the player stranded in darkness. That actually is a good feature, because that will truly get you feeling the horror, because, you know, you could walk anywhere in the plain darkness and suddenly, bam, there he is. So that actually might be a little bit horrific. Maps will be more, they will be bigger, they will be more professionally detailed, stuff like that. It'll be a much bigger game, let's just put it simple. It'll be a much bigger game, much better graphics, much better level design. It'll also have a randomizer coding, pretty much just means that the player will pretty much start at any different landmark every time, so he'll never start at the same point. That might result in something horrifying, I really don't know. Unlike Slender's appearance in the 8 Pages, the Slender Man actually will have a much more detailed suit. His white hands are now going to be shown, because before this it was just either black gloves or just really, really long sleeves that went over his hands. He's going to be a bit taller, as if he wasn't tall enough, gee whiz. And his face will appear rougher, having the texture of mod rock, like that of a mummy. Essentially, he'll look more realistic due to the improved graphics and more intimidating. Slender model is also animated, containing a walking animation, a breathing animation, a head tilt animation, a hunching over animation, tentacle animation, yes, and these appear to be played simultaneously. So yeah, all of that, and I'm not going to go any further, probably already going a little bit over time. So, the question of this week is, do you think that these art theft dudes, that they will be caught, that this will all be taken care of within the next year or two? Also remember, you can ask a question, request. You know what? If you want to interact with me, if you want to give me feedback, if you want to suggest anything new, guess what? You can do that, that's your freedom. I'm not gonna remind you anymore. I'm just done saying all that crap. My videos end up having another extra 5 minutes of me just saying other crap that doesn't have to do with the theme of the episode. So, yeah, just do what you want. Also, you might notice, if you look down in the description, as long as you're not actually on the channel right now, you probably can see it says Rttta down there, like a literal thumbnail and a link. That actually we were able able to get the show approved by YouTube because we're full YouTube partners. So now we have our own show channel for Rttta. So it's still uploaded by GCWaves, but now whenever we add an episode, it will be added to the show channel Rttta, which currently has no subscribers. I don't know why you would need to subscribe when you're already subscribed to GCWaves, but hey, it's down there. Click on it if you really just want to be notified twice in a row. Then hey, subscribe. If not, then don't subscribe. I really don't care. Just thought I'd let you know that. You might also notice because of that we have partner ratings for these now. So yeah, what should you do to this video? Share it, comment, smash the like button, and most importantly to me at least, subscribe. Subscribe. So yeah, this has been Rttta, and I leave you with one word. Farewell.